everybody is one of one. Nobody is the same. When we dance, play, co-create, we open our perspective. And in this is the growth. All AI is the same. It comes in another variation.
Creativity is still there. We're not all going to be replaced by AI.
There is no AI that could ever make you as fulfilling than you dancing with another human. Never. The hard skills, AI is for super, but soft skill, it cannot even come close.
If the AI is coming for me, what do I do?
The key is,
How do you believe technology can enhance or complement human creativity, especially for those facing their own challenges?
I think when I talk, and probably you're referring to AI because everybody talks about AI right now.
Yeah.
I believe that, so by the way, I'm zero educated in technology. I'm zero educated in anything. I had 8 years of school and they say, Michael, if you cannot, if you cannot do school, it doesn't matter. You still have to, you're dyslexic, you have to read, you have to do everything. I didn't never fit in systems, but it gave me a viewpoint about human centricity. And if you talk about technology, it's so funny. I have done yesterday, an expert gave me, did my bio. So we talked about my bio and he taped with AI an
Mhm.
hour and a half. And then I gave him all my bios I had. He put all that stuff into AI and it was horrible what came out. It was not me. It was beautifully written. I don't know, like the best writer, editor in a book, but it wasn't me. So I had to rewrite the whole thing. So technology doesn't have, I believe that dancing with other humans, we are all one of one, dancing with other humans, and you know that from podcasting, right? Dancing with other humans, creating with other humans, and playing with other humans is magic. Because and we don't even look at it. We don't know, oh, okay, all right, I don't care. You're just another girl, right? Look, you are one human being. You're not another girl at all. You are another one of one human being because everybody is one of one. Nobody is the same. If nature would say, okay, we make all women the same, all guys the same, so you can procreate and there's no difference, then I would say, okay, system relevance is really important to be the CEO, to get your employment, to get all this. I would say, but it's not the case because nature made us one of one each. And where the superpower is, it's the synergistically fitting, meaning I'm a spring, you a light bulb, and somebody else has a tube. It makes a flashlight. It's more than that, the separate part. And when you can experience that, you can it's very fulfilling because you see, that's why podcasting is so up because people just interacting and playing with each other and they
Yeah.
can see the human potential because even though you have a different perspective than my life perspective, but when we dance, play, co-create, we open our perspective. And in this is the growth is in this. So what AI and technology does, it cannot because it's always the same. All AI is the same, comes in another variation, but we are 8 billion people. Look at the possibilities. AI cannot even digest 8 billion people with 8 billion people. It just, and then also, it's not only 8 billion people, we have a different DNA, different eyes, different fingerprints, but DNA also, but everybody of these 8 billion has a different life perspective. So 8 billion times 8 billion, can you imagine the combination with each other? There is no AI that could ever make you as fulfilling than you dancing with another human. Never. AI would lose just out what you and I talked just now. Couldn't comprehend it. It's very few, very simple words, right? The words are understandable. I didn't use any special words, but the meaning in the dance between you and me, AI cannot capture. And this is the problem with AI.
You could also say that it's the solution for people who are afraid of AI, right? Because if
Yeah.
human creativity is still there, so we have a reason to be optimistic that we're not all going to be replaced by AI, that these things are
Yes.
just tools, like people are saying, and
Yeah.
it's not, oh my gosh, like the Terminator is coming and all those doom and gloom things.
Yeah. It's like a hammer. It's you can either find a rock, don't
Mhm.
take a nail and hammer it in, or you take a hammer, you just grab it nice, elegant, and you put it in, then nailed. So AI is not something bad. I think for hard skills, the hard skills,
Yeah,
AI is for super, but soft skill, it cannot even come close. So we have to segregate that too. And it's probably very good AI when I lose a hand and to put a hand on an artificial hand on and to do that. But it's a hard skill too, because it's not a, my hand is what I think and what I wanted to grab. So I'm still in charge. So it is the tool that actually have a hand to grab something.
definitely. So would you say that right now what people should be learning is soft skills to make sure that they're still relevant in the age of AI?
You perfectly said, but either you are perfectly what you just said. I would not focus on AI. AI is just a
Mhm.
hammer. So what are we going to do with a hammer if you don't know how to use a hammer? Focus on your soft skills, how to dance with other humans. It's the most rewarding thing to dance with other humans or other living. And that's why people have pets. It is so rewarding. And what is fulfilling? What is the fulfillment that you have? Fulfillment is the emotional feedback loop that you, one of 8 billion people, are on the right track. Because I have a different fulfillment than you have. But if you and I fulfill together, then it's exponentially. For
Mm.
example, I'm very fulfilled now talking to you because you are one of one, and this is an opportunity that I open my perspective and I confirm my perspective, and I say, oh, perhaps I'm wrong. Juanita said something that I need to think about, and it helps me to clarify my perspective and also clarify about me.
Definitely. I think, yeah, we can't all just be sitting in front of the computer all day, right? By meeting people, we confirm if we're right. Because sometimes we're completely wrong. And maybe we haven't met people in a few days and we go out, we're like, oh, yeah, the sky is black, but it's not black, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or we take something, what politics and media does, the news media, is they are codependent with each other. And you're old enough to say that 15 years before, if for 15 years ago, they really started, the world is going under. Before it was also, but very, once every quarter, there was something, oh, I think the world is, something is dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, 15 years ago, they started really to get attention. And they now believe what they say to each other. The politician says, take something from media and says, okay, this group is suppressed. And I say, okay, I'm going to take that and say, I am the healer of this group. I save the group or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's about all. It's not about one group because that's segregating. If I say only
Mhm.
woman, help only woman or only man, that's segregating us because
Yeah.
it's generalizing men. It's not saying you're one of one human, but it's generalizing the man and the woman or the race or anything that's generalized. Okay, education, this is what you have to learn. It's totally generalizing. That's why we don't even know what it is to be a human, but we have to totally giving up and we want to be, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a police chief. I want to be this. We're not, we're hiding behind it. How many people do you know? Oh, Anita, you start saying this. I'm a doctor. I'm the authority. No, you're not. Because in nature, there is no authority. There's
Yeah.
a leader of animals, but there is no leader that is so far above Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. There is not somebody that is, that's unnatural. That's why these leaders feel horrible. And they're more suppressed than we are because we are still in the middle in the average human thing. And these people are these icons, which are artificial too. Oh, oh my God, this person. I want to be this person and I can do what I want. And leaders, people, then these leaders are the least free. When
Yeah.
you get to the leaders and you get the income, because you can't even go on the street anymore.
It's true. It's true.
So there's not free. They cannot be themselves. And the reason why they want to be, why we all want to be leaders and successful and famous is to finally can do what we want to do, being ourselves, the one of one. But we are it anyway. So enjoy that being the one of one.
Yeah, that is pretty ironic that people work really hard so they can be free and themselves. And then when they get to that point, they can't say what they want to because they're CEO and they're like, oh my God, my company is going to go down if I say this, right? So it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you have to like enjoy the moment as well as you
Yeah.
work towards your goal.
Only the moment. There's no, you have goals, but you're not even. You say, okay, I would be nice, but I'm very happy now. If you cannot say to it, you're happy now,
Yeah.
you're never going to be it because it's a mind construct.
It's
If you
true.
cannot enjoy, if you and I cannot enjoy this conversation and say, okay, but I'm going to get the ratings. Everybody's going to listen to this show, blah, 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 blah. We never enjoy the moment and
Yep.
we're not, and this thing never comes because it's such a minute thing that you get successful. It is so very, everything has to fit, and it's really not up to us. It's basically to the universe that this is going to happen.
It's true. I feel like focusing on what you can control. Like for me, like when I do a podcast, I enjoy this is like my favorite part, like actually talking to people
Yeah,
on the podcast. Not all the
yeah,
administrative work. This is like the
yeah,
best part.
yeah, yeah. That is, everybody has that. Everybody has the same thing at there. I don't know any podcaster that loves to edit and re-listen to this thing, then re-edit it, and I don't know anybody. Yeah. That's why we have AI, supposedly, but the AI doesn't have to feel because you can re-listen to this thing and says, "Oh, I want this clip. I want this clip." AI, if you allow that AI to do, it's never gonna hit it right.
Definitely. So your work emphasizes on the importance of living a human-centric life. Could you share how non-technical founders can incorporate this philosophy into their tech-driven businesses to foster a more inclusive and creative environment?
Okay, so we are made by nature, right? So we are human-centric made. So human-centric means basically we are one of one. We are, each one is a one of one. Our most effective human fitting is synergistically, not on layers, not hierarchy. And when we are collective create a species of nature, meaning an anthill does an anthill, an elephant is an elephant, but humans create their own environment. Look at all the cities, New York, Singapore, all this stuff. And then look also at our companies. Google, it wasn't Steve Jobs that created Google. He started it.
Yeah.
And just everybody, he wasn't the only one that did iPhones. It was his group. He was the guy that decided, okay. And remember, he had the iPad was before he actually wanted to do the iPad before, and then he made the iPhone. Okay, so they copied Star Trek and they wanted to have an iPad first. And then he says, no, let me do the iPhone first. So all this, he was just a decision maker, but he didn't, without the people, we wouldn't have any iPhones. We wouldn't have any, we collectively. So when you see Apple, you see us like Singapore and you see these cities and then, and look at them. And I started my perception by saying, humans did this, and I'm a part of that race that did it, even though I didn't do anything in Singapore. But I believe I am
Mm.
very proud that we did whatever you like. So you just say, oh my God, that is so unbelievable. And I'm a part of this. Instead of saying, oh, I can never get, I'm never. Most people feel shame that they're not part of Apple, but there's the same race. So they couldn't do Apple if they were a different race, if they were animals.
Oh,
What was
okay.
the question? Out of the question, what was the question? I want to come back what you said.
Okay, so the question was how non-technical founders can incorporate this philosophy into their
You gotta
businesses.
know that. You gotta know that this first. So human
Mm.
centric is what we are by nature. So we cannot say, no, system relevant is more important than name, but we do. And you know that we do this. It's more important that you have a job because money equals survival. In nature, money doesn't do anything. You cannot even use money in nature. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a part of our creation. Money is the best tool after fire and the wheel because it says, if I make hammers, let's go back to the hammers, and you make chickens, I can switch, but how many hammers do you need? And money allows us, you can have 3 hammers, let's say, but then I'm going to starve from hunger because I need to eat something, but you don't need it. So money I can buy from you and don't have to take my hammer in exchange. You can buy something for it, an orange or something else, whatever you need.
Yeah.
So money is a wonderful creation, but we made it that it is not the representation of the individual human anymore. It's a skill. It is a game. It's gaming the systems. Today,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a game. And if somebody doesn't play me with neurodiversity, I can't game anything like this. I have never played games. I'm playing all the time. Obviously, you see that, but I'm never playing a game. And why do you have to make it a skill it's already defined as a representation of your value that you contribute to humanity? Yeah? And when you have a company, and this is what happens, because we changed the sense of money, because it's never enough, right? So if you and I make $10,000 today, that's not enough. We would naturally think now $10,000 is lasts us for a year or it lasts us for so long, we can live off that. But we can't, because the system says you make 10,000 tomorrow, you have to make 15,000 or at least a little bit more. And they
Yeah.
always bigger and faster. And so when we have too many products and services because everybody's doing more and more. So we also competing with each other now because we have too many services and products instead of saying, because enough has no value in the financial principle says more, better, deal, and then also cheaper. That's a contradiction also. So it needs to be updated. That's a system we created that needs to be updated where we say enough has a value. We don't have to, it has a financial value. And what I say right now, till then, I would say we need to update systems because otherwise, if we only have hard skills to do the same old copy, everything the same, then AI will really ravish us, the human race, because we don't need humans to do it. So where's your income? I don't need you. I need you to just be system relevant. And then you are system relevant, but another person has also the access to AI. So she's also system relevant. And another person is also system relevant. So we create, and I remember you, or I want to remind you, remember when, I don't know if you remember, but I remember when computers came out and the computers in the cell phone, and they all said, "Oh, Michael, what are you going to do? The computer is doing all your work and you're getting all this money." And I said, I didn't even understand what that meant. Yeah. Yeah. But what is, you get a computer green. So when I got my first computer, they all said, "We're going to do this all the time and money." And we know now with the cell phone and the computer, we do 8 times as much. Humans output raised to 8 times as much. Now I'm asking you, do you get 8 times as much money and 8 times as much time? No. And what do you think AI is? It's the same thing. It gets you 100 times more output. But where is the time and the money that do you create? Yeah, the possibility. If somebody buys your products, yes, but there is not more people that buy your product. See, when nobody thinks about that when you think human-centrically, which I show here, when you see human-centrically, you always see context. Everybody is included. Not, you don't think just you yourself. You just say that the context. And and that's why what happened with systems, they outdated because of money. So we didn't update the systems. And humans grow. We grow so much. You
Yeah.
don't have when you see it. So when people say, "Oh my God, we didn't grow," and then people, "Oh, I need to make money. So I'm not gonna update my system. And the most human-centric thing is the phone. There's the cell phone. Now, how often does that update? Every day it updates. Because and that's not even saying the 8 billion people. That's just updating because it's so human, because we had to communicate with each other. Because without humanity, there is system irrelevant. All the systems are irrelevant. If there's no humans tomorrow, systems are irrelevant. If there's no systems tomorrow, we are still important because people will die, we will have problems and everything, but we can do it somehow. We can have the creativity and dancing with each other and playing with each other and co-creating, and we create something new. And you asked me the question, that's long, but I wanted to give you the whole thing. People should really get it and start thinking. Not, I don't have the solution. I have to, I just give you that your perspective opens that you can do the right thing. So
Mhm.
if I had a company today, I would say, okay, what is my function of company? Okay, I'm making containers for milk. That is my business. As I'm saying,
Mhm.
not very. So I would say, so what have you changed in the containers by milk other than putting whatever the government asks the stamp on it or whatever? And I would say, what have we done? And we have pretty much done, how can I make the milk container more human-centric? How can I
Mm.
update it with our knowledge? How can, is it better that I, like always, every time I take that square container, it's hard to hold, then it's squeezing together. How can I do that? Update the container. How can I put more in order? How can I do it easier to recycle? Do it in a material that is healthy, not something that is chemically sprayed where the milk goes with the chemical and stuff. So I would do that. And then I would use that to market my container, because human, our common denominator is we are human. So when I talk to you in a human way, you understand it. So if you have a
Yeah.
kid, right? And you know that they're saying, for example, the media finds out that there's chemical sprays in the milk container. And you say, I'm the first organic milk container. I've heard that from coffee cup. They have made coffee cups from coffee grinds. And it's like this, the coffee cups smell, and you can
Yeah.
use them like 5 times, and then they're 100% biodegradable. Now that's updating. That's updating because it's really taking responsible for the next generation, not just whatever I can get, then I'm dying and I'm seeing. It's, we are all in this together. We are all in the same boat.
Mhm.
That's, yeah. Does that,
Okay.
that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I think it makes a lot of sense because yeah, I feel like these days, like people, it also reminds me of like the output of AI, right? So like when
Yeah.
you input something, you output it, and then you
Right.
have to update it to make it more human. Otherwise, you're literally just a robot communicating with other people who are also using the same robots. And it's like a bit, yeah, it's a bit sad to just see communication happen this way. Yeah, and also it's more interesting. Like you can really see the people who tailor their content like online to sound more human, and then you can see the people who don't, and it's just like a huge difference.
And remember all this, what I think is so obvious, the drawings, the AI
Mm.
drawings, they
Yeah.
all look the same. I'm so bored already. They're very intricate. They have so much in it, every
Yeah.
detail and what. So if I would have made that, but that's, if I would have made that painting, it takes probably very long. So it cranks it out, but it is boring because everyone looks the same. It all looks like
Mm.
whatever, Harry Potter. Everything looks like Harry Potter. It doesn't look real. And also, I don't see the difference between my painting and your painting. If you and I use AI, we don't see what the difference. But neither is, when are you, is your expression in art, especially. And what is my expression? And we say,
Mhm.
I need a young boy reading a book, and we put that into AI, and we both get pretty much the same feel. It might be
True.
different, but it is the same feel, because it's not what, it's not, it's a soft skill, the soft skill that is the power.
It's true because if you're just saying a like a young boy, but if you're more descriptive, you're like a young boy with orange hair and all
Yeah.
these things. And then we'll definitely get a different output because for me, I would have a different kind of young boy
Yeah.
painting, and then yours will be different. And then we can see the difference in artistic expression.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's still general, because if you would choose your own, you create it with your hand or
Mhm.
with a designer, it would do different. The designer reads you in the soft skill of you being 101, and he knows you. I know, Bandia, I know you. I have a feeling for you. And you ask me to do with the red hair, right? You asked me to do
Mhm.
the boy with red hair. That would look different than if I say, put red hair on him. It is a different. So even this thing, we are so synergistic. We are made by nature synergistically so that we can dance with each other, not I'm giving you directions and you do what I say. That's not natural. Natural is I got to get a feeling for you and then help you with my feeling and we dance as long till we both think, wow, this is perfect. This is better than I thought. The red hair are better on this child than I ever thought. And you can't have that conversation and feeling exchange between that. And by
It
the way,
is true.
this comes all in because of you and me. I've never talked about AI like this.
Mhm.
So you and I, it shows you the magic when two people dance, because I am preaching what I live, what I preach. So I've never explained this in this way and so detailed. and so resolute, meaning there's a solution where people get it with any other. And I'm talking a lot about it, but and it just shows you, because otherwise they say, oh, I said that all the time. I didn't even know that you say red hair. So I couldn't have done that previous. And that's what I'm saying. This is the difference between everything is unique, every moment. And even if we wanted to redo this podcast, we can do another episode. But if we want to redo this podcast, we can't redo it. Every moment is one of one. I've done where the recording didn't work, and we have redone complete different podcasts. Complete. That's why
True, actually.
the moment.
Yeah, you're completely right. I think there is a kind of beauty in like humans communicating and talking about work or just like telling someone to paint something. I think that's a lot different to telling a computer to do it. And
Yeah.
you definitely get a different kind of output and a different kind of feeling towards like the job being done.
Yeah. And the magic in this is when you do it, not about, I'm the artist. Okay. But yeah, I'm the artist. Okay. Yeah. So I'm the expert. I'm the authority. So what you tell me, I do what I want. When
Mhm.
you dance, when like here, like you and I, we show the world how to, that when you can actually interact, what happens is that, and you're not saying, no, I must say what I want to say. I give him green hair. Then when you dance enough, and I say, oh, even if I want to give him green hair and you say red hair, and we dance, I will try the red hair. And perhaps we not, and perhaps it becomes blue hair together. We become say, oh, blue hair are the best. But actually, we both, this is the essence of creativity, because I'm an artist and I'm all about the creation. I'm not about the product. So when the creation process says, you and I come to the conclusion that neither red nor green hair are the right. We come to the conclusion purple hair is the right. Okay. So we both say, so we look at the product and say, that was right. That was right. But it's better than what you thought, and it's better than what I said. So we have the synchronicity of creation, and we have expanded the human potential, because you would have done red hair, I would have done green hair. But together, do you see that magic in that? The magic is because magic is not magic. There's a magic thing. Magic is we are things magic because we don't understand it. Yeah. So there is no magic. Whatever we create, we can create. But yeah, this is so good. I love that I love your uniqueness and your willingness to go deep, because a lot of people are afraid. I'm a doctor. I know. I'm an authority. I'm an expert. And there is no expert. There can only be an expert in engines or computers. There can never be in everything soft, can never be an expert, because everybody's one of one.
Thank you. Yeah. I think I always enjoy talking with like my guests in a different way because I know everyone is different. I can't just go in and be like, okay,
Exactly.
today I have to go in and I'll be talking like a computer expert today. But no, I'll just talk to people like they're human and then we'll just see where this goes.
Yeah. Yeah. But you have the advantage also that you're females. You have more, because you can give birth to kids and all that stuff. So you're forced to be human-centric more, because your ability to have kids, that's why you're forced, because nature doesn't segregate you and say, okay, you're like a guy. So we have other issues from nature that we got. But I think the human centricity is that you can do it because you have to be here for a child. And I never thought about that either. It just came because you talked about it.
Yeah. So you often say awareness trumps all. In a world increasingly driven by AI and technology, how can founders foster this awareness to ensure technology benefits humanity rather than detracts from it?
Listen 27 times to this episode. Listen to this episode, because then you know that it is to copy anything. Awareness is the key. And awareness comes from experience, because you can read every book about love, every book in this world. There's millions of books about love, right? If you have never felt love, you can, it's like you read nothing. You can only what you experience. When you experience, then you can say, oh, so for example, if somebody would say to you, Anita, you cannot talk and dance with a man in talking in thing. Said, no, I did it with Michael and this with all these people because you experience it. And I can say your podcast is the worst or it's the best, but nobody can get away from you did it. See, they usually the people that never they're too afraid to create something, to podcast, to do something. They are the ones, oh, that's a good bad thing, or that's a bad theater piece. They've never played theater. It's a lot
Sure.
in art. See it. Oh, I didn't like it. That's not the point. The point of art is not if you like it or not. It's that you see that these people had an inspiration from their non-physical and they created a theater play. They created the statue. And that is just, they created the statue is a product of their community, of the inspiration that is the spark that comes in. Because you're not thinking, oh, la, la, was what I want to do. What should I do? Oh, I need to just make a podcast. Okay. No, if it doesn't resonate, okay, then do a pig farm. You know, you know what I mean? It's like you're doing something that resonates with you, and then you play with this with that resonance of the non-physical. Because we every night we're going in, we're dying every night, right? We're gone, and then we come in the morning, we're physical back, back again, and you playing with that, and in that play comes something out: theater play, a painting, a song. I would say, oh, Allah. And then it makes sense. You sing till you get the harmony, do synergistically, and then you see it. And if people resonate with it, is usually what I find is the clearer you are in that communication. When you start from podcast, when you start at the beginning, you're shaky and all this stuff because you want to be
Yeah.
system relevant. And then you just normal. Then you just here, you're not nervous. Oh my God, what I'm gonna do now? Because everybody's one of one. It's not, oh my God, President Trump comes on my podcast. Who cares? He's one of one, or Biden, or whatever you want, the president of where you are. It doesn't matter. It's one of one. It's system relevant, made up, but it's a one of one. He's not better than you. He's just more specified in the system, but he's no better than you. Yeah. And you can have a dance with him if he's
Yeah,
willing to do
definitely.
it. It needs both need to be willing to do it.
Yeah, I really like your perspective on taking action and also and how the critics usually haven't done what they're criticizing
Anything.
about. And they're like, "Oh wow, this is so weird," but you haven't done it, so maybe it's not so weird. Maybe you would enjoy making content.
Exactly. I mean, you have to express yourself as a human. As a human, you have to express yourself. And if you don't express, you get violent. That's why
Mhm.
because you want to control expressing yourself. So if
Yeah,
I steal all the stuff from you, then, or I hurt you, then I'm controlling and I can do more. So it's always aggressive. So that's why humans are suppressing emotion. We have to express ourselves. And the more we express ourselves, the more balanced we are. Because we are created animals, a created species. You know?
it's true, definitely. I think I was just listening to another podcast and they were talking about how everyone has a dark side and we should channel it into something productive rather than like we can't go out and just scream at everyone. We should channel it into
And
something creative, ambition, yeah, and creating things like what you said.
work on educational, on an international education, new educational
Mhm.
system for the education, meaning we give you a year or two to be learn about what it is to be human, not from your parents only. So when you come, that you like what we're talking about today, right? So everybody's one on one. We need to work together, and you need to be fulfilled what you're doing. And when we don't express what I say with kids always, when I see kids crying or whatever, I say, your kid has a real strong spirit to get into. We are spirit, we get into the physical body. And when we have a real strong spirit, we get sick. Like I was a sick child. Till 50, I was sick. Yeah. And I went to two in the doctors and all this stuff. When you have a very strong spirit, I either get sick or you cry all the time and you, oh, no. And I say, always give your kid, doesn't matter, girl or a boy, get him, express him in art and express or sports. So give him a sport where he can express himself in the physical or he can draw because the feedback that he gets from the drawing in the art. So I would say, so in my education, there would be three things. There would be about human, the first 2 years, 1 year, have an interaction with, have a sports, team theater, team art, music or theater, and have a pet, a non-physical, have a pet that you interact with a pet. It could be a goldfish, it could be a cat, it could be a dog, and have awareness. And everybody does everything. So everybody has a pet. Everybody needs to do group art, and everybody needs to do group sports. So when you do group sports, and the artists say, "I don't want to sports; it's so violent," then you can do the jerseys. You can be help the sports getting water. You can be a referee. And the people that say, "Oh, art is dumb," I don't want to do art. And then, no, you have to, because and the theater needs an old wife, right? And you see the quarterback of the super quarterback for that. He said, "Oh, don't have an old wife. You have to be in on this chair playing the old wife is knitting." And the kids are much more flexible. Adults wouldn't do it, but kids would do it. And then they would be open, and it wouldn't be segregated woman, man. It would be all together. And they see the uniqueness, and that therefore you make the uniqueness and then also interact. They would be more natural, human-centric, because we can interact with animals. You know that. We can all interact with animals. We have no language, but we interact with it. And the animals, they do, they adapt too. It's not like we adapt only to animals. The animals adapt to us. And there is that synergistic thing again. And if you can get that humans, I think that we would make wiser choices on what we want to be. We would say,
Oh,
"Oh, I wasn't thinking I was in art. Thought I was a sports guy, but I really like art now. So if I get injured in the sports, I might go into art. I'm open to that."
yeah, I really like that perspective because I think it plays into a lot of the fears that are going on right now. I've had people come ask me and they're like, "I'm a lawyer. What do I do if the AI is coming for me? What do I do?" And I'm just like, inside, I'm thinking like, you can change, you can adapt, of course. But yeah, it's pretty hard to talk to people because I know that they're really scared. But I think the fact that you're saying that humans have the capacity to change and adapt and also possibly pursue a completely different field. And I think you're saying that in a way that's not scary at all.
No, I said, yeah, I was so many jobs because of my neurodiversity. I was in so
Mhm.
many jobs. I was a politician. I was a political advisor. I was an artist. I was in hospitality. I did so many things. And it's always soft skills, but because I am good in dancing with people. And I would tell everybody that is afraid that I is taken, I said, "Then learn how to dance with people. Learn how to
Mm.
interact naturally, how you would interact. Don't be saying that and if you stutter, as you stutter, I said I'm stuttering. I said I don't feel comfortable in this. You just say who you are because you're one of one. Nobody can tell you how to be. See, we need to stop this how to be. Nobody is dictating how to be and can do it. They do it, but they can't do it really, because if everybody was the same, then this would perfect. Okay, you're a better lawyer than the other one. You're a bigger company and you're more valuable. But that is just systemically in the game. So if I play with you, am I more valuable when I play with you Monopoly and I win all this? Am I all of a sudden 10 times better than you because you ran out of money? That isn't crazy because I couldn't even play with you, couldn't win if you weren't here. And even if I win, I lose. You see that? It's just, you see how because we're thinking too much system relevant and too human. I'm not saying screw system. No, systems are very important, but they need to be updated. And I say the awareness is from the experience, and it's not from because you have 15 titles before your name. That doesn't mean anything. Also, I worked with Robert Evans, who did The Godfather and Chinatown, right? I lived with him. I co-produced with him. I cannot, if you say today, "Michael, let's do a film or anything," and I was specialized in documentaries. I could do it, but I wouldn't know how to today people do this stuff. So would have to learn. So it doesn't really matter when I was 15 years that ago. Because if we change, we always grow the humans. So you're always a novice. Today they say when you finish a doctorate in a doctor, they say 50 to 80% is outdated when you
Yeah,
graduate.
essentially.
Yeah, this is insane. So you always have to be in the moment. You always have to be. And the one thing that keeps holding her is your feeling, and you dance with that. You're not saying, okay, I have to give her cortisone, and I'm not a doctor, but I'm saying I have to have it go because it says we have to give her that thing. But you have a feeling that she wouldn't tolerate the cortisone, or she told you she doesn't. You can just say, okay, but that's what the system says. You can't generalize. The problem with system relevance is good systems because we can do a lot of jobs for a lot of people, but we cannot generalize that all women need this, all men need this. That's
Definitely.
yeah.
I really like that perspective because I think generalization is a huge problem. If you think
Wonderful.
with marketing, right? If you think, okay, like all dogs will love this specific food, but then
Yeah,
there are so many different kinds of dogs.
yeah, yeah. And it's like humans. There is no one diet. If there was one, that's what I said. If there was one diet that would be good for humans, that would all work fine. And it shows you diets cannot work because we are all different. Because if I like pumpkin and I love pumpkins and you get sick on pumpkins, my body needs pumpkins and yours, the body doesn't need pumpkins. Or my love sausage, I need that fat and the thing, you don't. And it's not general either, like vegetarian. All Indians have to be vegetarian. No, you have to eat what is good for your, and in West, everybody has to eat meat. You have to find out what is you. And that is the key for everything, for having a business or being an employee. The key is you are one of one, and you have to find why you're one of one and how that manifests here. And then you can integrate synergistically.
Definitely. So, do you have any advice for people who are trying to figure out who they are so they can start a business that's in line with that?
I would say, first of all, you have to live, do whatever job resonates with you,
Yeah.
that you can feed yourself.
Yeah.
But in that thing, set what you like. So I always say the example, you get inherited a car repair shop, right? You get that inherited. So it's already established. It makes your income, but you hate 80% of it. This is what happens to humans. You hate 80%. You like to only tinker with motors, right?
Yeah.
Motors is fine, but you don't want to talk to customers. You don't want to do the advertising, all this, the system we talked about, all the system stuff. You don't want. So then I would say, when I say to update your system, then focus more and let go of the other things. We don't wash cars anymore. We don't do this oil change anymore. We just do motors and more specialize on motors because it's fulfilling. You can actually, in today's world, if you don't have anything that fulfills, you die from your job. You die from your job because there's so much competition, so much thing, and everybody's cheaper. And so in everything, all the technologies to make it cheaper, AI. So you can, so if you are not, we have to actually work not more now with all the technology. And if we don't love what we're doing, we kill ourselves, literally kill ourselves. So if 80% of your job you hate, how can you, what is your sense of life? That you do 80% of living. In nature, you have also danger and threatening, and then you have nothing to eat for a couple of days. But then again, it's always enough. But the system is made on win or lose. And that's why
Hmm.
system relevant, you need to be clear. The system is win or lose. If you don't love your job, you will lose. That's even if you win. If you get, look how many people made $1 million and don't get a heart attack. You will
Yeah.
lose. It is not natural. It's not enough. That's why I say we need to integrate enough in financial principles, because if we don't have a balance, like in nature's superpower is balance, and it grows, always grows. It's not like it's static, it grows. We need to get in our systems that we create. Also, we need to do the financial principles because they are the base of all systems, financial principles, because that's their juice. The money is their juice. But we need to have enough into it so that the systems are not forced to always more, better, faster. We can't even say a loss anymore. We say negative growth. What the hell? We can't even say that anymore.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked your example with focusing on specializing on the motors for a family business or something
Yeah.
that's about cars because it's
Yeah.
interesting because you can do a lot more when you like something, even if it's you yeah, essentially, you can just progress a lot faster because you're passionate about what you do. If
Yeah.
you're not passionate about it, you're going to be really unhappy for your entire workday.
And then it makes you sick. Because
Yeah.
when you're not, because it's not natural to be unhappy. And look at nature. They play, they're fun, the animals, they're running together, they do this, they're grazing, they lay down, they're not lazy. There's no laziness in nature. Because if you're lazy, you're dead in nature. But there is no lazy, because laziness is also a systemic thing. Because people are not lazy. People are just giving up. They said, okay, I can't play that system game. I can never be a millionaire. I can never be this. And this is also when we elevate these Elon Musk and everybody so much, which are 0.0001%, that we all feel guilty because there's this guy, he does that, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. And you just give up and then say, okay, I don't care. I just eat and watch TV. And then that's the total disaster.
Yeah, I feel like there's no point to compare, especially since we're all very unique. And I'm never gonna
One,
be Elon Musk, neither are you. And we can only be
no,
the best
I
version
don't
of
want to be.
ourselves.
Don't want to
Yeah.
be. No, do you want to have that stress? I don't know.
Well, I feel like even if we try to be a specific person, we'll never reach it. So it's
Yeah.
better we just like optimize on our strengths, like what you said.
Exactly. Exactly. On our oneness. And don't tell me you are one of 8 billion people that isn't special. That's naturally special. You're what? There's no other Panil there. There's nothing. There's no other girl like you. There's no human like you in this whole world. And this is what I wanted to tell also. We have the highest suicide rate for kids. And that's why it would be so important to teach kids that they are one of one. And life is to figure out over the thing is how your uniqueness manifests physically. That's what life is. Because people say, oh, I don't know what life is. No, life is you getting into the physical body. And when you, and that's why from 0 to 7, you don't even know what it is, how to survive. And then you learn to 0 to 7, you learn how to survive, how to interact, how to speak with other humans. And then you get the social one, the bigger one. And then once they get a job, you're the biggest one. And your role as a one of one in school. So what your role is one of one in the family, school, life. And then interaction, creating another family, doing whatever. And in that, all that process, life is a long game. It's not a short game. It's not like what system says, oh, make a quick $1 million and then retire. And then you learn more about your uniqueness. Oh, because all mothers are not the same. All policemen are not the same. Everybody is different. And so you learn your uniqueness in the context of being a policeman, in the context of being a mother, in the context of being a wife, in the context of you're learning more and more about your life and about your uniqueness. And that's what it is. You learn. I said, but people have fear of death. Other people don't have fear of death. We all, and it's not like you have to have fear of death. It's not a rule. You have to have fear of death or you have to
Yeah.
have this. No, everybody's unique. And life is to become aware. And this is the awareness. When you experience, see, you can't, if I say, Vanita, you can't be this, you can't be that. And when you're a woman, this is what happens. The generalization again, the lie. That's the lie. Generalization is the lie. But when you experience being a mother, when you experience having a podcast, when you experience growing up, when you experience to go to school, it's not the knowledge you learn. This is the big lie because knowledge updates. When you're a facts specialist, nobody needs a
Yeah.
fax today. Right? You can be the best fax man of the whole world, but now nobody needs a fax. And knowledge is only short. Everything system relevant is short term till the next better things, the bigger, faster, better car. That's horse and buggy, and now they have cars. And soon they might not have cars. They might have something else. So that's systemically, that's our world, our metaverse. That's actually the metaverse that we have is the system. And we change and experience. And in the experience, we grow. And that's what it is. It's amazing what comes in. I never talked about this so detailed. I could never explain it that well, which proves what I say.
Definitely it does. So I think this is a great point to close out the podcast
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think human uniqueness and finding out what makes you and what makes you tick, and turning that
Yeah.
into a business and optimizing your job using your uniqueness rather than computers, which everyone already has. So your
Yeah.
uniqueness plus
Yeah.
computers, and
Yeah.
yeah, and good things will happen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming today and sharing all your
You're
expertise.
welcome. Anytime you want me, I come back because that
Absolutely.
was so rewarding for me.
Thank you so much. Same.